Hello and welcome to Out of the Park Baseball. Today I will be not starting technically, but resuming one of my sims. I made the first update in a write-up, and I will link that in the chat for those of you who are interested. I apologize for not starting from the start, but I am too lazy to try to do this league again, so we're just going to go from where we are now. As you can see, I'm running the Diamondbacks. I will be trying to make a dynasty as quickly as I possibly can. I've done this really quickly in my other saves and really successfully as well, so hopefully I can replicate that. So in year one, I completely retooled this team. The only regular who is left is Carson Kelly, my catcher. I traded away every other starter. As you can see, I now have Pavin Smith playing first base, Nick Madrigal playing second base, Rafael Devers playing third base, Andres Jimenez playing shortstop, Evan White in left field, although I still am set as a first baseman. Albert Almora Jr. in center field, and Cabrian Hayes in right field, although I also still have him set as a third baseman. Luis Arias is the designated hitter at this point because Nick Madrigal is a better hitter, and I would like them both in the majors. As for the pitching side of thing, other than Robbie Ray, I traded away all of my important starters. He had a phenomenal year in the rotation and will be going into the offseason with a qualifying offer attached, so he will get us a draft pick from whichever team signs him. Chris Archer was the ace for last season. He had a very good year, pitched a lot of innings, kept runs low. Dylan Cease was the second pitcher. I believe he led the team in pitching WAR. He was very good. Michael Kopech, also very good from my third spot. Brian Abreu and Sixto Sanchez were recent pickups from the Astros and Marlins, respectively. I do not remember who I had in the rotation for those final two spots other than Robbie Ray. Heading into this season, I made a couple of trades. I flipped our war leader, Luis Guillorme, to the Marlins for Sixto Sanchez and um, who else came back in that trade? Oh, yes, Nolan Jones. I made a whole bunch of other trades for minor leaguers as well. The big trades were uh, Nick Ahmed to the White Sox for the two pitchers, of course, Nick Madrigal, and a couple other minor players. I do not remember the package that I sent to the Twins, but I got Luis Orez, obviously. I sent barely anything over to the Pirates for Cabrian Hayes. Rafael Devers came over in a deal that also included Tristan Casas and a couple other pieces. I sent over to the Red Sox Ketel Marte and Eduardo Escobar. Andres Jimenez came in a deal that sent Jeter Downs, part of the Rafael Devers trade, to the Mets. I also got Guillorme in that trade, and he is obviously gone now. As for prospects, I have traded for number one prospect, Wander Franco. I used as my primary chip Adley Rutschman, who came over in a trade to the Orioles. My number 10 overall prospect is a shortstop who was a scouting discovery. Hopefully we can get some nice things from him. He looks to be a very good potential leadoff hitter, very nice defensively. We'll see how he pans out. Sixto Sanchez obviously came over from the Marlins. Corbin Carroll homegrown. Brian Hayes from the Pirates. Nolan Jones from the Marlins in the Sixto Sanchez trade. Christian Robinson homegrown. Evan White from the Mariners. I sent Christian Walker and I believe Madison Bumgarner over. I got the Mariners to completely retain Evan White's contract and also throw in a long relief pitcher, Eric Swanson. Nick Madrigal came over in the White Sox Nick Ahmed trade. Alec Thomas is homegrown. Shane McLaughlin came over in the Wander Franco trade. Kybert Ruiz, I believe, came over for next to nothing. Bryce Jarvis came over in the draft, which I auto-imported. Brian Abreu came over from the Astros. I believe that was actually a rather sizable package that I sent, but I don't remember exactly who was in it. Geraldo Perdomo's homegrown. William Contreras was part of a minor deal with the Braves that sent over Stephen Vogt. JB Bukauskas is obviously, in the system previously, and Yusniel Diaz came over in the same trade as Adley Rutschman. Heading into the next season, our budget got cut significantly, obviously, from not having ticket sales, which hurt our profit. We had very little power last year, so my owner wants me to acquire power hitter and up my home runs. I have barely any money to work with, and I have no idea if I can actually make this happen. As for the salary situation, I front loaded a whole bunch of salaries. I gave a long-term extension to Rafael Devers, which was actually quite pricey, but still well below market value for him, so he should be a nice piece. Dylan Cease, Carson Kelly, and Luis Arraez. As you can see, Carson Kelly's deal is extremely front-loaded. Uh, Rafael Devers is pretty balanced in Arraez, and Cease's build up as they go, so those will get more expensive. But as you can see, payroll drops off significantly in 2 years. If we put up a good year next year, hopefully we'll have some money to work with. We should have pretty much the same team for a little bit. As for the bullpen, this is nothing like the real-life Diamondbacks bullpen. I completely rebuilt this. It is much better than it previously was. Craig Kimbrell came over in a trade from the Cubs. He is the closer. He did a great job this year despite a really high batting average on balls in play. I expect that he will be remaining as the closer for the time being. He has his contract 55% retained by the Cubs. I do not intend to exercise his option, though. There's no buyout, and it's extremely expensive. Tanner Scott came over in the Orioles Adley Rutschman trade. He is one of our setup men. Jose Alvarado came over in the Wander Franco trade. Trevor Rosenthal was part of a small deal. I gave him a small extension for 2 years. Kevin Ginkel, obviously, with the Diamondbacks previously, same deal for James Sherfy. I don't remember how I got Addison Reed. I think he might have come over in the. Oh, yeah, he was a free agent signing to raise fan interest. Eric Swanson came over, of course, in the Mariners trade. Jimmy Nelson, I believe, was also a fan interest stunt. Looking to the future, I am probably going to have to call up a middle reliever or sign one. I mean, middle infielder, as I do not have anyone to back me up here right now. I have Yusniel Diaz as my backup outfielder, so I don't have any problems there. Looks like I have my starter sorted, and I don't want to be spending too much money, so these are likely going to stay the same. My rotation looks pretty much set with these guys. Hopefully we can get another strong year from Archer as the ace, Cease as the 2, and Kopech as the 3. If Brian Abreu can make a good debut, that would be very encouraging. Sixto Sanchez, he actually did play with the Marlins last year. Hopefully we can get a nice year from him as well. I might sign Sanchez to a long-term extension. The control is really valuable from his spot, and if you can get that fastball up to electric levels, he should be a very stable top of the rotation arm. Anyways, I will be looking to make this team as cheap as I possibly can on long-term prospects. I will sign prospects to big deals when they come up so I can retain them, especially Wander Franco. And we'll just see where this goes. Anyways, I am right on the bridge of free agency, so I suppose we can just go ahead to that. First, I'm going to double check to make sure I have all my personnel pending. Looks like I need to send an offer out for the Missoula Paddleheads pitching coach, however. Hopefully this Kerry Wood will sign. Oh dear, he's asking for quite a bit of money. It looks like I do need a pitching coach for my AA team as well. I will probably look for somebody to do that. As you can see, I signed him to a 5-year deal at really high value. The reason I'm willing to pay my coaches so much is because it's not that big of a difference. A minimum player has a higher salary than he does, and they will make a huge impact on player development. It is essential to get the best player development you possibly can since it is a good, cheap source of high-end talent. All right, let's see who there is in the free agent market and if there are any cheap power hitters I can acquire. Maybe there's an interesting international free agent. I always check these because they'll always sign cheaper than their American equivalents, don't come with qualifying offers attached, and can come at younger ages than average free agents at times as well. Doesn't look like there's anybody too interesting in this international free agent class, though. And that guy's already signed with the Dodgers. Oh, this guy's a free agent. Oh, but he's got a terrible personality. Oh, Howie Kendrick, interesting. I might sign him. It's possible that Kendrick could fulfill that power hitter need I'm looking for. If he's cheap, then maybe I could get him. Considering his age, he should. Ooh, yeah, that's more expensive than I'd like. And he's a compensation, too. Yeah, I don't think I'm signing Kendrick. Hendricks and Profar also coming with compensation. Kevin Guzman also coming with compensation. JT Realmuto almost certainly coming with compensation. JD Martinez will not. Oh, yes, he will come with compensation. Jock Peterson will probably come with compensation. But he does fulfill that power hitter that I need. Although he is also quite pricey. It doesn't look like any of these players will come cheaply, so I will check out the free agent market and see if there's anybody I can get. Oh, it looks like Kirby Yates is actually quite cheap. I might end up signing him. Anyways, just need to clear this filter. All right, Ken Giles. He looks somewhat affordable, but I don't really want to sign him with that personality. Dylan Betances is also quite cheap, but also has a really terrible personality. Ooh, Junior Fernandez. I might sign him to a minor league free agent deal. He has high potential, and it will come very, very cheap. I'll see if I can acquire him. All right, hopefully we can get him. Liam Hendricks will come pricier than I would like. Kirby Yates, of course, comes quite cheap. Kevin Guzman, I do not want to sign. And I should also probably take a look at the hitters as well. Mookie Betts, almost certainly not attainable. Yeah, there's no way I'm signing Betts. I would love to, but he is extremely expensive. Marcus Simeon, also compensation and also unaffordable. Andrelton Simmons is always really good defensively at shortstop. He is, of course, also a compensation pick, but he's more expensive than I would like to. Does not look like there are any obtainable free agents that I would have an interest in. Interesting. Trevor Bauer is only 3 stars. He's also compensation. Ooh, Jackie Bradley Jr. is cheap. Oh no, not Jackie Bradley, Michael Brantley. I do not need a left fielder, and he does not have power, so I will not be signing him. That wouldn't be a bad deal, though, especially considering his demand is only 7.5 million. Looks like I'm just gonna sign Kirby Yates for now, mostly to raise my fan interest, as I do already have quite a few good relievers. Hopefully he can pan out. You know, I'm actually going to cut out his salary here and give him a team option I have zero intention of picking up for his age 36 season. If I can sign Yates, that'll be a nice little boost to the bullpen and my fan interest as well, which is currently in need of help, to put it lightly. Anyways, I don't believe there's all that many moves that I do need to make this offseason. So I will mostly just be burning through this. I guess I do need to sign a pitching coach for AA. Alright, now let's just try to get through this offseason as quickly as possible. As you can see, the Dodgers defeated the Astros in the World Series. I'm sure their fans were quite happy about that. As I said at the beginning of the show, we were knocked off in 3 games by the Nationals in the playoffs, as you can see up there as well. That was an unfortunate series. We won the first game and then lost the next 2. The Astros have signed JT Realmuto, and the Phillies have signed Mookie Betts. Interesting. So now they have an outfield comprised of Mookie Betts and Bryce Harper. That'll be a very interesting team to follow. Let's take a look at the Phillies really quickly. Too bad they don't have a half-decent center fielder. This would be a really dangerous team. I wonder why they're playing Bryce Harper at designated hitter. I mean, he's a much better defender than Odubel Herrera. You'd think he'd just slot them into the outfield and Herrera into the designated hitter spot, but I suppose they had not thought of that. AI does pretty dumb stuff at times. I will not be trading away Alec Thomas for some mediocre starting pitchers. Alright, now that he is signed, I need to just double check and make sure that we now have every single spot filled. Alright, nice. So now there's pretty much nothing left for me to do in this offseason. do not want your aging veterans, if you don't mind. And the fans are unhappy that I did not retain Robbie Ray. I did get a first-round pick for him. That should be useful going forwards. Hopefully the 2021 draft class is strong and we can pick up a top prospect with that extra pick. I'm not going to waste my time going through the Hall of Fame ballot. Robbie Ray is also signed with the Astros. That should be a very interesting team. And Guzman. Houston is making a World Series run. Let's take a look at this team now. Guzman and Ray are their second and third starting pitchers. Kohler and Quiddy at the bottom. This is a very formidable lineup as well. Oh, they also signed Jake Lamb. That's odd. Kyle Tucker in right field. Aro Herrera in center. I traded him to them, apparently. Josh Rojas, who I also apparently traded back to them, is in left. That's not too good of an outfield other than Tucker, but it's not bad. Bregman, Altuve, and Alvarez with Real Muto. That is a formidable infield for sure. Definitely going to be a team to watch out for. I'm not so sure that the Dodgers would be able to beat them in a hypothetical rematch. Oh, right. I should probably try to find my utility infielder. Could be Wyatt Matheson, but I'm not a fan of him. I could call it Wander Franco. I think I might end up calling it Lucius Fox. I don't mind him too much. He can be a pinch runner. He won't be terrible at any positions. He'll learn them all decently enough. He's already got training at 2 positions. Yeah, I think I'll just go with Lucius Fox at this point. I don't have too much of a problem with him. He does not need to learn first base. Actually, he doesn't really need to learn second base either, because I have Luis Arias. I will, however, have him play shortstop over Arias. I will have Pavin Smith as the backup. Oh no, I mean Evan White as the backup first baseman. And I will have Kybert Ruiz as my backup designated hitter, as he is the best hitter of these 3 backup men, I believe. Yeah, I'd say he's the best. I will edit this lineup later, but for now I'll just leave this as it is and try to go through the offseason quickly. Well, it looks like Junior Fernandez and Kirby Yates are looking to sign with us. And now that it is winter meetings, the odds of them signing in a couple days are pretty good. And Kirby Yates has signed, and it had the intended effect of increasing fan interest. Let's see if our ratings of him changed. Nope, he still looks pretty good according to my scout. So he should slot into the back end of our bullpen potentially as a setup guy. I'm surprised we got him so cheaply. I would not have thought that. Ooh, Brian Goodwin might not have been a bad acquisition for Alex Young. Yeah, it's one of those AI trades that actually wasn't so terrible. Alright, well, we now have another relief pitcher to add to our already pretty good bullpen. Oh, interesting. Lance Lynn is going to the Red Sox now. Oof. That is a terrible return for the Rangers. Too bad I didn't jump on a deal like that first. That would have been a great ad. And it is time for the Rule 5 draft. Hopefully we can add some meaningful talent. First, I will go through and make sure that I do not have any of my own talent, like Luis Garcia, available for other teams to claim. I do not know why Nolan Jones is in the AZL. That is something I'm going to have to fix. I think I'm actually just going to trade away JB Bukowski because I don't see him slotting away into the rotation or even the bullpen anytime soon. And considering his age, he doesn't have much development left to go. Hopefully I can get a little bit of something for him. Interesting. High control pitcher. Not really good enough to make my rotation either, though. Does not look like I'm getting any really good offers. This guy's avoid K skill certainly makes him an interesting prospect, though, even though he is already almost 25. Right now, he's probably my favorite. Interesting, but still not that great of a prospect. We get Seth Beer, who I traded to Marlins, apparently. I don't know if I'd want to get Seth Beer back, but he could very well be the best prospect I've been offered. Ooh, I like that personality. Jahmai Jones might be the best prospect I'm offered at this point. Ooh, this is a really interesting catching prospect. This guy is easily my favorite at this point. Catcher ability is by far the most important rating for a catcher to have. This guy has sky high catcher ability and a good arm as well. He's a captain with good intelligence, which will affect his development, and he's not a bad hitter. I would not mind picking this guy up from the Mets. This is easily the best prospect I've been offered at this point. I do not see anybody better than that catcher at this point. I am going to make that trade. Oh, interesting. The Mets. Oh, yeah. Of course, they have Pete Crow Armstrong. I imported the draft. I keep forgetting that. I do not know if the Mets have any players that I am interested in acquiring. I'm not so sure that they'd be willing to give me Edwin Diaz. Interesting, might actually be willing to give me Edwin Diaz. MJ Melendez is a catching prospect I picked up from the Royals in the Trevor Rosenthal trade. He looks like the best option to give up at this point. Ooh, Ben Wyman. This is easily a good trade. This guy is a fringe relief pitching prospect. I was thinking about calling him up, but Edwin Diaz is far better. I have absolutely no reservations about making a trade like this. The only problem with this is that Edwin Diaz is really expensive, so I will have to figure something out with him. Maybe I can sell him higher than I bought him, but we will have to see how this goes. Can I get Jeter Downs back? I cannot get Jeter Downs back. Can I get a draft pick? Of course I can't get a draft pick. Can I get some money, at least? Maybe I can get some money. Yeah, I can get some money. Alright, I'll take the money. Edwin Diaz is going to be expensive, but this should be worth it. Having this guy in the bullpen should be an amazing addition to the team. He will replace Craig Kimbrell as the closer. Kimbrell will slide into the setup role. I might actually trade Kimbrell. Yeah, let's see what I can get for Kimbrell. I don't really need two hyper expensive relief pitchers. As good as Kimbrell is, I hate to do this. I just cannot afford both of them. And it does not look like I can get anything for Kimbrell, so I will just hold on to him for a year and then decline his option. Yeah, I can't get anything for him. He will move into a setup role, likely with Kirby Yates. And this should be the best bullpen in baseball, and it shouldn't be all that close. My memory serves right. Diaz is the best closer in the game, second best closer in the game. He's certainly up there. I'd better set Evan White to left field before I start getting bothered by this. By the way, Evan White did manage to win the Rookie of the Year award for the National League. Oh no, he didn't. That's right. He got snubbed by Shogo Akiyama. He won every single Rookie of the Month award, but he couldn't win the Rookie of the Year. Interesting prospect from the Rays. I might look to add him in the Rule 5 draft. He could replace Lucius Fox as my utility infielder. Sherton Apostle. Probably not going to look to add him. Alright, let's see how this goes. Hopefully Taylor Walls falls to me. He may not. Ooh, Artie Lewicki got selected in the Rule 5 draft. That's pretty surprising. I would not have expected that. John Duplantier. Ooh, I did not notice that he was eligible. That stinks. And Taylor Walls is still available. All right. Well, he is our new utility infielder. And that is the only player I intend to take in this draft. Yeah, that's the only player I intend to take in this draft. Alex Young's taken in the Rule 5 draft. Interesting. Some of these players have pretty much no value to me, but I suppose other organizations think differently of them than I do. I will demote Lucius Fox back into the minors, and I will put Taylor Walls into his role. He's a better defensive player than Luis Arias, so I will actually have him back up second base. Interesting eye/discipline and avoid K's build. He could be about an average hitter with above average defense. I don't think he is going to ever become a starter for my team, but he could very well be a good trade piece. He will also be good enough on the base pass to be a pinch runner. Oh boy, Abraham Almonte, everybody's favorite left fielder. famous for sucking with the Diamondbacks for many years before joining the Padres. Ooh, Bogart's traded to the Braves. Another interesting offseason move. Another really, really poor return for a high-end player. That was not a very big package for Bogarts. Red Sox must have been very desperate to get out of that contract because I could not have expected them to sell that low on him. Interesting. Dansby Swanson offered to me. No intention, of course, to make that trade. And Junior Fernandez has signed with the team. He will be in the minor leagues. All right, it's time for the preseason. We're almost at the point where the fun stuff starts happening. Yeah, I'm just going to shortcut this. Keon Kilo will join the evil empire over to the west. I really hope that he does not become another thorn in my side. The Dodgers are a pain to play when you're in the NL West. And Curt Schilling, Barry Bonds, and Roger Clemens have joined the Hall of Fame. Unsurprisingly. As for spring training, I usually only allow players on my roster who have a shot at cracking the opening day roster or who could use the development. So Wander Franco will be on my spring training roster, uh, along with all of my MLB ready or near MLB ready prospects. But I will not have anyone who I do not really intend to make the team who is not a high priority prospect on the roster. Hopefully, the players that we have at new positions will train up quickly, so we don't have to worry about them sucking during the regular season. Oh, sweet, Kirby Yates has improved. That is good. That is very good news. Although, of course, many things could change as we start to get a better look at players once we get into spring training. As you can see, Many of these players have really low scouting accuracy. That is because scouting accuracy sucks in the off season. And I have hired the best scout I could possibly find this off season. I prioritize scout and trainer very highly amongst my team staff, so I got the best ones I could possibly find. We are getting closer and closer to spring training. Oh yeah, I should probably take a look at my international complex. I do not believe I've done that yet. I'll do that at the start of the season. All right, well, our team does not actually look too great outside of the bullpen and Luis Arias slash Rafael Devers. Payman Smith is not a very well-rated first baseman, although he's got a pretty solid bat and quite good defense. I expect he'll climb the ratings. Carson Kelly looks pretty good catcher, and shockingly, Albert Almora Jr. is in the top half of center fielders. No idea how that happened, but he did have quite a good year last year. Hopefully, he can replicate his success. Yusniel Diaz is not very well liked as a right fielder, although, of course, Cabrian Hayes is my actual right fielder. I will fix that. There we go. Let's see how he stacks up. He actually stacks up worse than Yusniel Diaz right now. Evan White is the worst left fielder in baseball, which is not surprising because he does not have any defense yet. Chris Archer is in the bottom half of pitchers. Not surprising. Kevin Ginkel is somehow my best relief pitcher. It's probably because all my other ones are set as closers. Andres Jimenez is not well liked at shortstop. So we will have an uphill battle to make it back to the postseason this year. Hopefully, we can pull this team together, get some good things going, and get it in. Oh, that's something I'm not actually taking a look at yet. This is a very good personality team. Nick Madrigal, Carson Kelly, and Nolan Jones will lead it. Although Nolan Jones will likely start the year at AA or AAA. Albert Almora Jr., Taylor Walls, and Brian Garcia are a nice backup. Lucius Fox, Albert Almora Jr., Andres Jimenez, and Ben Bowden are nice. I could have sworn I traded Ben Bowden, but I guess he's still here. They will be nice spark plugs, and Chris Archer is also a plankster. So we will see if this team can win some more games by having a good chemistry. Anyways, I will start by demoting players that have no chance of making the Major League roster and I have no developmental interest in. Alex Vesia is one of these players right now. Oh, maybe I should leave him. I'll leave him. He was the closer at AAA last year. I'll give him a shot. Josh Green is an interesting player, but I seriously doubt I'm ever going to use him. I'll just chop him away. Looks like I'm going to get a whole bunch of really poor prospects again. Yeah, these guys are not top end stuff. I am not a huge fan of these offers, but I mean, he's not really going to do anything for me, so I probably will look to trade him. Second baseman from the Cubs is probably my favorite of these prospects, and I do not like him too much. Is there anybody else interesting that you happen to have, Cubs? Anybody at all? This guy is interesting enough to me. This guy, not that guy. And they do not want to give him up. What about Pedro Martinez, the third baseman? I'll see if I can get him just for his name. And I cannot get him. If I can at least squeeze a little bit of cash out from the Cubs, that would be nice. Come on, just a little bit of cash. Just a teeny tiny bit, just so my owner does not get mad at me. Thank you. I made $10,000 off of that trade. Kirby Yates will be setup man, obviously. I don't know if I want to demote Alvarado or Scott, though. I think at this time, I am going to demote Tanner Scott because Jose Alvarado has much better control. I'll put him in a use more often role along with Rosenthal. Edwin Diaz, of course, the closer. Oh yeah, that's right. I have to demote both Alvarado and Scott. And you guys are no longer good enough to be high leverage. This bullpen is even better than last year. This is going to be a force to be reckoned with for sure. And I suppose I'll just throw all of these guys in long relief because I don't really care too much about them. If they happen to make some major improvements and make the roster, that'll be a nice add, though. I'm just going to get rid of my Matheson. I don't have any use for him at all. And nobody wants him, so it is time to release you. Save me money in the future. Alright, time to set the backup part of the lineup. Luis Garcia. Oh yeah, this guy. He is not MLB ready yet. At this stage in his development, he is on track, so I do not really need to prioritize his development. I will leave Lucius Fox and Nolan Jones, but I will not give them anywhere to get extra playing time. They're just going to have to get it when they get it. I'm somewhat tempted to put Wander Franco up on the roster. He could definitely handle Major League competition right now, but I am not so sure. I'm not so sure about that. He has 85 void Ks and 95 contact ability to go along with some pretty good eye, really good power as well. Definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with at the top of the lineup one day. I don't know. I don't know what to do with Wander Franco at this point. I don't think I'm going to put him on the Major League roster. I'll ask the AI to set up my minor league system to quicken the process, and I will move these players to where I believe they should be right now. Wander Franco definitely has the tools to handle a AAA. I have no doubt about that. I believe Filiberto Bormini is good enough to get promoted to the AZL at this point. He is still 16 years old, and he's already got some pretty good avoid Ks and contact ability, with a lot of potential left to come. This will be a prospect to follow in his development. Actually, I'm going to wait. You never want to start the clock on these guys too early, and I'm not sure how loaded my middle infield's going to be with all three of my top prospects shortstops. I am, however, likely to move Wander Franco to third base long term, as his arm is by far his best skill. Andres Jimenez is at the MLB, my starting shortstop. Corbin Carroll, he is definitely not good enough to be at high A at this point. I will put him at low A. Brian Hayes is, of course, at the MLB. Nolan Jones is at the MLB for now. Christian Robinson should be good enough to handle high A baseball. We'll see how that works out for him. Luis Garcia is probably not ready for AAA yet. I'm going to send him down to AA for now. Nick Madrigal is, of course, at the MLB. Alec Thomas is maybe ready for AAA. I don't know. I guess he could technically handle AAA pitching. He's just not going to hit any power. Shane McLaughlin should be ready for AAA. Kybert Ruiz is my backup catcher. Bryce Jarvis, I'll leave him at A-ball. He needs to be demoted. He'll get demoted, though. Geraldo Perdomo is most certainly not ready for AA. I think I'm going to have him start the year at single A. High A. I do not want to put him in AA yet, though. William Contreras should be at AAA. Taylor Walls is my backup second baseman. I can't believe he was the 127th prospect. I got him in the Rule 5 draft. That is just crazy. I mean, he's not going to amount to much, but he should be a decent piece for a bit. He came from the Rays of all teams. Michael Bush came back in that one trade. Should be able to handle AA. Yusniel Diaz is at the MLB. Trevor Larnach looks like he can handle AAA. And Blake Walston should be good enough for single A. Alright, looks like we're all set up and ready for spring training. So right now what I'm looking for is just players learning their position, hoping for some improvement from some of my guys, and that's pretty much it. We will see how this goes. I think I'm good with this lineup. I'd like to see Nick Madrigal hit at the top of the lineup. I think otherwise this looks fine to me. Evan White is going to be a really nice piece for this team. He is literally free for 8 seasons, and he's already been a highly productive player. You really cannot overappreciate a guy like that. And we beat the Phillies with their Bryce Harper Mookie Betts combination in the first game of spring training. This team is looking really good out of the gates. And the Nats owner has died. That is unfortunate. All right, well, we started the preseason 3-1. Evan White's starting to learn some left field. Brian Hayes is starting to learn some right field. Doesn't look like there's too much going on right now, though. I should check the preseason predictions. I want to see how this team looks right now compared to the others. Definitely the best bullpen in baseball. I have no doubts about that. This team should have no problems handling just about anybody in the later innings. We're projected to go second place in the National League West with the 4th best record in the National League, winning the first wild card spot. That's not bad. I'll take that. Looks like our team is a very heavy average team. Highest batting average projected in the National League with one of the lowest home run totals. Also not too fast. Looks like our pitching staff is extremely high strikeout, by far the highest in the league. Lots of walks too, though. Highest in the NL West, but it does not look like other leagues have too great control either, so we'll see. Rafael Devers projected to be the 3rd best hitter in baseball. None of our pitchers projected to do all that well. We're going to have to watch out for some other formidable opponents. And the Colorado Rockies are 4-0 in spring training at this point. You know what? This actually isn't too bad of a trade. I don't know why there's a second round draft pick tacked on there, but I did not actually want it. Ooh, Maximo Acosta. He's been an interesting player in some of my saves. I will ask about Maximo Acosta. And I don't think I'm going to be trading for Maximo Acosta at this point. Looks like Evan White's coming along quite well in left field. So adaptability certainly helps with that. I will be asking for cash from the Rangers because it's very easy to do and it is very good to have. Ooh, they draft second overall. I actually do want to see if I can get a draft pick from them. I believe I already have the third overall pick from the Marlins. And there's no way I'm giving up any of those guys, so they can keep their draft pick. How much cash can I get? That is not the amount I meant to enter. Yeah, this is not looking good. It looks like we're pretty much just getting that 100,000 that I asked for originally. Aha, I managed to squeeze out an extra 25k. Sweet. All right. Evan White looking really good with that batting average so far in spring training. Peyton Smith and Evan White both on the OPS leaders. That's good news. Brian Garcia looking better. Dylan Cease kind of looking better. Chris Archer looking better. Brian Abreu looking better. This is a really good update. Luis Arraez looking better. Rafael Devers looking better. Lucius Fox kind of looking better. Evan White kind of looking better. Tristan Casas looking better. Wander Franco looking better. Wow, can't believe he actually managed to continue to somehow improve. Although I guess it was his current contact rating that was the primary change there. Connor Graham's, I don't even know who that is. Luis Frias and Junior Fernandez not looking better. All right. Now let's take a look at this team as it stands. I should have Wander Franco on my major league roster right now. I'm going to be fully honest with you. He is much, much, much better than my current shortstop, Andres Jimenez. But he needs to, as MLB teams would say, work on his defense. In other words, I'm service time manipulating him because I don't want to call him. I would like him a little bit more refined, but I am service time manipulating him. He is by far the best player in baseball, and getting another year out of him would be huge. Although I will try to sign him to an extension, so after the first year, I will be offering him a lot of money to stay in the desert for probably 10 years. Chris Archer leading the league in strikeouts in spring training. Oh wow, Kirby Yates is there with James Karinchak. Strikeouts per 9 innings. Very impressive.